Chapter 13. My parents head off to their jobs. I clean up the dishes and wipe up the tea I spilled on my floor. Normally, I'd go find Aisha right now, and we'd hang by the rock garden. Sohail has been showing up a lot, too. And last night, when we were in line for dinner at the mess, Sohail whispered something to Aisha. Later, she asked if we could skip our normal meetup. I guess she's getting bolder now. She's dropping me as her chaperone. I'm happy for her. We all need distractions in this place. My mom's words still ring in my ears. First love is one you never forget. David said he'd get here, and I believe him. But I have to talk to him again, because it's not like he can randomly show up at the front gate. I pull on the hem of the vintage X-Files tee I liberated from my mom's closet years ago. I rub my sweaty palms against my well-worn jeans. There's only one way to get a phone. I step outside. After talking to my parents, I know that the drones and the guards aren't the only eyes that are on me. I look around. Now that a lot of the adults have jobs, most of them are occupied during the day. There's a kind of daycare where the grandparents take care of little kids. The block is pretty quiet. The guards patrol in shifts. Corporal Reynolds is on our block duty today. Carpe diem. I don't run or try to walk in a hurry. I don't do anything that might seem unusual. I casually stroll toward the guards like I'm going to pass them. There are no drones above. Now is as good a time as any to take a stupid chance. I trip. Ow! I yell out, louder than necessary. The guards turn to look at me. Corporal Reynolds says something to the other guard on duty with him, and then walks to me. I'm on the ground, rubbing my ankle. "Are you okay?" he asks, kneeling next to me. "Yes. I wanted to get your attention, but wasn't sure how." He shakes his head. "You have to stop doing dumb, risky stuff like this." I don't have time to take offense. "I need to talk to David. Can you get me a phone again, maybe?" Jesus. Corporal Reynolds rubs his forehead. He sighs. "Get up, and pretend it hurts to walk." I slowly push myself up. He takes my elbow and escorts me back to my Mercury home. I do my best to feign a limp, and I think I'm pretty good at it, because I've totally sprained my ankle before while playing tennis, so I know how it feels. Not that I'm winning any Oscars, but good enough. When we get to my door, he whispers, "Go inside. Stay there. For once, please listen. I'll be back." I nod and walk in. I wait inside like I was told. Minutes pass. I pace the room a little, remembering to limp for the camera. Then I sit down at the table, lifting my leg to let it rest on the chair next to me. I try to forget that any minute I could be talking to David. So I let my mind drift elsewhere. I wonder what Aisha and Sohail are doing right now. Actually, no, I don't wonder. I hope she's maybe sneaking her first kiss. I hope she's smiling. Sohail is a good guy, I think. I pray my instinct about him isn't wrong. The knock at the door makes me jump, even though I was expecting it. My startle reflex is a lot more sensitive these days. I fake hobble to the door and open it slowly, ever conscious of the camera in here. Corporal Reynolds looks at me and allows a small smile to crack his normally serious veneer. He hands me multiple ice packs. "For your ankle," he says. "You should probably lie down with your leg propped on a pillow. That's what the nurse told me." I take the ice packs, thank him, and shut the door. I want to run into my room, but I don't. I take my time, reminding myself to limp. Once I'm safely in my room, door shut, I pull the top ice pack off the bottom one. A black flip phone is in a small plastic bag along with a note.
In 30 minutes, there will be a shift change. The guard I'm with will talk to the new guys. Bring the phone back to me, between the ice packs. Say thank you, walk away. Don't be late. Run water on this note until the ink runs. Then rip it up, pulp it, and flush it.
I dial David's number. Let the phone ring once, hang up, then dial again, like he told me. It rings 3 times before he picks up.
"Layla?"
He whispers.
"Sorry, I had to grab the bathroom pass to walk out of class."
Hearing his voice makes me feel like a boulder has been lifted from my chest, letting me breathe again. David. I start crying softly, but wipe away my tears. I quickly clear my throat. David, can you get here? I need you to help me figure some way to get out of here.
"I'll be there tomorrow. It's not a far drive."
What will you say to your parents?
"Fuck them. I asked my dad if he could use his State Department contacts to help get your family out, and he said that's not how it works. That they'll only let people out who are useful to them. I hate him for going along with all of this. And my mom, I don't know how she can stay silent about what's happening. I know they're scared, but it's like they've forgotten everything they taught me."
I barely register David's words. Hearing his voice is thrilling and heartbreaking at the same time. Then I'm slapped with the realization of what I've done. The ridiculous risk I've asked him to take by coming here. It's not worth it. I don't know what I was thinking. David, I love you so much, but I was wrong to ask you. You can't come. It's dangerous, impossible. We don't have visitors.
"Layla, we'll figure out a way. Remember when I said this wasn't going to be the end of you and me? I meant it. I'm with you. Always. Is there some place we can meet without anyone knowing?"
David, I don't know. There are guards and cameras everywhere. There are drones flying patterns above the camp. There's no place they can't see us.
"Is there anyone on your side who could help?"
I hesitate. I'm not sure. Maybe I could ask Corporal Reynolds.
"Corporal Reynolds?"
Don't freak out. He's a guard here. He's the one who got me the phones to call you. He's helping me.
"Layla, that seems dangerous. Are you sure he's not trying to trap you?"
I don't think he'd go to all this trouble to turn me in. I mean, they don't need reasons to take you away in this place.
Jesus. Fuck. I can't believe this is the world now.
Tell me about it. I trust him, David. I mean, as much as it's possible to trust a stranger in the camp, a guard. I think my gut is right about him.
If you trust him, I do too. Please be careful. I love you, Layla.
I hear a bell ring in the background. I would do anything to be at school right now, back to the way things were, to the before. Not now, in the endlessly painful after. I'll figure something out. I'll call you, or maybe I can ask him to. Either way, see you tomorrow? Maybe? I hope.
I love you forever, and I will see you tomorrow.
This might be the dumbest idea I've ever had. It's definitely the chanciest. But we've made the choice. The only direction now is forward. Chapter 14. My hands shake as I pull on my black hoodie. I guess it's my official sneak-out uniform now. David is here. Close. So close. I pray that nothing goes wrong. Corporal Reynolds agreed to help me. To help us. I'm pretty sure he feels bad about all this. He should. And on the outside, I might care that I'm using his sympathy or guilt to get him to conspire with me. But what other choice do I have? I tiptoe out of the trailer. It's a little past midnight. I have to get to the rock garden on my own. There are no guards outside, like Corporal Reynolds told me. I stick close to the Mercury homes, avoiding the searchlights. They travel across the camp in a pattern. So I count the seconds and run from shadow to shadow. My heart races, pounding in my ears, and my skin is covered in goosebumps. The logical part of my brain is screaming at me to stop, to go back to the trailer. But I don't stop. I can't. Corporal Reynolds is waiting for me at the garden. When he sees me, he puts his hand up, telling me to wait. A beam of light passes inches from where he is. Then he beckons to me to hurry. I sent the guards at this end away, and a buddy rerouted the drones. But you have 5 minutes, tops. You hear me? His voice is tight, strained, and his face looks stricken, but I'm not sure by what. The director is off-site today. That's why I was able to redirect a few things. But don't think you're safe. Not even with me by your side. Not for a second. Do you understand? I nod. I hear the weight of his words, how serious he is about what he's saying. But I can't feel them. My only emotion right now is a giddy elation because David is here. Here. In this place. Where I thought everyone had forgotten us. But Corporal Reynolds is staring at me with expectant eyes. My half-hearted nod isn't enough. I get it, Corporal Reynolds. I'm in danger all the time. Yes, you are. And like I said before, call me Jake. I think it's fair to say I've crossed the guard line here. Jake? Thank you, I whisper. Before I realize what I'm doing, I put my hand on his arm, a tiny, spontaneous gesture of thanks that startles both of us. I pull my hand away. Jake points across the midway to a red metal tool shed at the back. There's a Jeep parked next to it. We hurry toward it, not saying a word, but I'm utterly certain the drumming of my heart is echoing through the canyon. Jake stops me at the door and hands me a flashlight. Remember what I said. 5 minutes. Keep your ears open. If you hear my voice at all, don't move. Don't make a sound. Don't come out. I'll open the door when it's safe. Got it? I nod and put my hand on the doorknob. Layla, Jake whispers. There are no cameras in there, but speak softly. I push open the door. It's so dark inside. Layla. It's him. It's his voice. I turn on the flashlight, and David steps toward me and wraps me in his arms. I cry into his shirt, and he holds me tighter. It feels so good to be held by him. Is it possible to miss something even more while you're experiencing it? Then we kiss. It's slow and soft and lovely, and makes me want to cry and laugh at the same time. For one perfect moment, the entire world disappears. David gently pulls me down to the ground. He turns so his back is against the door and draws me to him. He folds his right arm around my shoulders and knits my fingers through his. I want to sit here and not say anything. All night. Me. David, with the floral notes of his clean clothes and the minty smell of his soap, and the intimate, familiar ways our bodies fold into each other. It's what all humans want, isn't it? To be known. And David knows me. But we don't have world enough. Or time. We have minutes. Seconds. Soon we'll return to reality. Barbed wire and electric fence. Layla, listen. They're not closing this place down. Another camp is opening in a few weeks. They've expanded the Muslim ban. Total immigration lockdown. And for tourists, too. Even if you're not Muslim but are from a Muslim-majority country. But I have an idea. The news guts me. An idea? For what? Look, I don't know if this would work, but remember how I told you my dad said something about people making themselves useful? I nod, not sure where David is going. Not sure I want to know. It got me thinking. What if, He pauses, takes a deep breath. He's never uncomfortable around me. But now I sense his muscles tense. His words are all stuck in him, and he's trying to force them out. David, you're making me nervous. What is it? Do you think you could convince your parents to help the government with... My mouth drops open, and I turn to David, grabbing the flashlight and directing its glare at his face. He puts up his hand to shield his eyes, so I lower the beam. What? You want my parents to help the assholes who put us in here? What the fuck, David? Did your dad put you up to this? No, he has no idea. I thought that maybe if I could go to him and tell him your parents would, cooperate somehow, then he'd try to help you guys get out of here. I wasn't thinking that they'd be holding guns to people's heads. They'd have to, I don't know, translate stuff, maybe? Keep the authority informed? Tears flow down my face. David has punched a hole through my center. I open my mouth, stutter. I have so many words I want to scream right now, but they're all frozen inside me. And I can't scream. Not here. Not anywhere in this camp. David, have you lost your mind? You're the one person I have. The one person I trust on the outside. And now you want to make my parents... what? Collaborators? You want us to inform on other Muslims to save ourselves? They would never do that, and neither would I. I scoot away from him, then stand. David reaches out to touch me. I pull away. He stands up and cups my cheek with his hand. For an instant, I relax into it. The warmth, the familiar curve of his palm touching my skin. I sigh. Then I step back, the rage building inside me. I turn my back to him, trying to figure out what to say. He comes around and draws me into his arms, but I shove him back. He bends down and whispers into my ear. Layla, listen to me, please. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to insult you or hurt you. But what if this is the only way to get you out? To keep you safe? Who are you right now? Your mom is Brown. Her last name is Shabazi, and without your dad's protection, some ignorant fascists might have mistakenly forced her into this camp too. And you want us to cooperate with them? Do you actually believe your dad would even go for your stupid idea? Did you even think this through? I was thinking I love you. That's all. I'm terrified, scared that you'll get hurt, or worse. I want you out of here because I know what happens to people who get sent to camps. My whole family knows. Don't you understand? I'm going crazy every second you're away from me. His voice breaks. I don't know how else to help you. I clench my jaw, but David's words also pierce my heart. If you even knew me at all, you would have realized how stupid it was to even ask. I look up at David, fury in my eyes. But there's also doubt in my heart. What I wouldn't give to be out of here, to be free, to know my parents are safe, to do regular, everyday things, to take a walk, to breathe, to sleep. But even if I begged my parents to do this, I can't imagine them giving in. If they wouldn't lie on the census, a small lie to hide us, they certainly aren't going to become traitors or spies. Even if they never saw who they were hurting, they would know that they were condemning people to internment, or worse. and living an ethical life, a moral life, is important to them. I can hear my dad's voice now, and I repeat the words that come to mind. In the quiet of night, the heart knows the lies you told to survive.
Who said that?
David asks. My dad, I whisper.
Okay then. Exactly. Sometimes you have to do what you need to do to survive. Live to fight another day.
No, David. That's not what the poem means. It means that you can never escape your lies, even if you think you have, even if it was to survive. The lies, your deception, are always with you. David sinks into himself like he's been punched. I don't think I've ever seen his face look so pale. Only now do I notice the bruise-like circles under his eyes. He looks like he hasn't slept in weeks. Tears well in his eyes. He clears his throat. His voice is barely a whisper.
I'm afraid for you. I'm afraid of what they could do to you. If something happens to you.
Don't you think I'm scared too? I take a few steps to the door.
Layla, I'm sorry. Please, I'm staying in town. I'm not going home. I'll figure out another way. I'm not leaving here without you.
The door opens. Jake is standing there. I can't imagine what the two of us look like. What I look like. Face wet with tears. Eyes swollen.
David, stay here like I instructed you. I'll drive you out under the tarp, same as the way we came in. Don't make a sound.
David nods at Jake's instructions, then looks at me and says,
I love you. I'm sorry.
He steps back into the darkness, and Jake closes the door. Jake and I hurry across the midway. I let him guide me, pulling me away from the light beams and into the shadows. Tears run down my face, too fast for me to wipe them away. I thought David would be able to help me somehow, and instead he wants us to become informers? I swipe my sleeve across my nose. My entire world is upside down. Jake produces a tissue from his pocket and hands it to me.
I don't think.
He pauses and rubs his hand across the back of his neck.
He's trying to help your family.
I ball my hands into fists. Anger wells inside me. Don't you think I know that? And were you listening in on us?
I heard most of it. It was hard not to. It's a flimsy tool shed. It's not soundproof. He's desperate, that's all.
I'm desperate too. But what he's suggesting, that's not an option. We can't do that. If we do, we'll be as bad as... I look up at Jake, and then stop myself and turn away.
Go ahead. Finish your sentence. You'll be as bad as me.
He winces as he says this. My mouth goes dry. What I said might have been terribly stupid or dangerous. I can't speak. Jake's eyes scan the area with each step. He's cautious, always observing and adjusting his behavior to the situation. He never speaks if anyone could possibly overhear.
Layla, listen to me. I told you before, it's not cut and dried, on the outside or in here. Things are happening. People are organizing. They're making their way down here. That little town, Independence, it's filling up with media and protesters. Occupy Mobius, they're calling themselves. The Secretary of War got doxxed by Anonymous. You know, the hacktivist group.
I stop and look at Jake, my eyes wide, and nod. My stomach churns. We're getting dribs and drabs of news from the outside, but nothing like this. Inside here, we're frozen in time, stuck. But outside, the world is still moving. Why are you telling me this? because what I think David wanted to tell you, what he might have told you if he weren't so terrified of losing you, is don't give up. We arrive back at my trailer door. So maybe there's still hope, I whisper. Jake takes a half step toward me.
Inshallah,
he whispers. Chapter 15.
Inshallah.
Jake's voice rings in my ears. I'm not sure what it means that he said that. God willing. Everything and nothing? Like so much of life inside here, where you have to read into the tiniest gestures, whether they are dangerous, whether a wave means to hide or to say hello. I slide my hand under my pillow and pull out the note Jake passed to me this morning when I was getting some of our food rations. A note from David, which I guess he scribbled and gave to Jake after he'd driven him out of here. The note is an apology. It's a promise to help me in whatever way I think is best. Before seeing David, I thought our getting out was the most important thing. But when David came up with this ridiculous collaborator scheme, I realized I couldn't leave everyone behind. There are too many people who could get hurt. Perhaps I'm stupid and too short-sighted to see what the real fallout could be. Maybe this pain in my stomach is remorse. Maybe it's fear because I'm starting to understand what I have to do. You should consider it, Aisha says when I tell her about David's proposition. We're at the rock garden. She doesn't say it, but she keeps glancing across the midway, looking for Sohail, I'm assuming. How can you even suggest that? It might be your only way out. We keep talking about escaping, but how? Even if we got ourselves and our families out, where would we go? Try to get to Mexico, with all the border security? If we didn't die trying to get through the fence, or smuggling ourselves out in a supply truck, we'd get shot trying to climb the border wall, even though we were going into Mexico. I grab Aisha's hand. I'm not leaving you behind. I didn't even tell my parents about it. I don't want them to be tempted. They might do it for me, but I can't imagine them being able to live with themselves if they made that choice. They're scared. Parents will do anything to protect their kids. If I had that offer, I don't know if I could say no. Aisha's voice cracks. Remember what your dad said to you about fear when you were in the spelling bee? Sohail, too? About how we should be scared? About how we can use that? Aisha looks up at me, and it doesn't escape my notice that her eyes brighten every time Sohail's name comes up. Small blessings. I'm increasingly aware of and thankful for them. We can't fight back in here, not by ourselves. Jake told me there's stuff happening on the outside. We need to make those people see what is happening on the inside. Jake? The guard who helped me make the call to David. You're on a first-name basis with that guard? He can hurt us for no reason. He has a gun to shoot us. Do you even know what you're doing right now? Shit. I don't think it's like that with him. I explain what Jake said to me, but Aisha isn't convinced. Anyone can say inshallah. It doesn't make them Muslim, or even if they are, it doesn't mean they're on our side. He could be saying that to win your trust. I get what Aisha's saying. I spent half the night lying awake wondering about it. Some Muslims I know, like this one uncle, says it all the time, like it means hopefully. One of the girls at the masjid complained that her mom basically used it as a nice way of saying no. Mom, can I go to the movies tomorrow?
Inshallah, beta.
I know non-Muslims who say inshallah, God willing. But Jake's saying it doesn't feel flippant or like a trick. I know how it seems, how it is. But I think he wants to help us. He used the word as a sign, or a shibboleth. He used it as a shibboleth, she says. I shrug. It's a word you can use to distinguish who's on your side and who isn't. I can't remember all the details, but it comes from a story in the Hebrew Bible. One group was able to detect their enemies by their inability to pronounce the word shibboleth with the sh sound. So the word shibboleth is a shibboleth. Yup, basically. I look into Aisha's eyes. I know you're scared, but in my gut, I know that Jake's not the enemy. I hope my gut isn't wrong, because it's not just my life I'm risking, it's her life too. Aisha shakes her head. I don't know, Layla. It's a leap, and a dangerous one. I won't take any unnecessary risks, I promise. But even as I say the words, I know they are a lie. Aisha gives me a small nod in response, which I take as agreement. Have you read any Nietzsche? I ask. Aisha furrows her eyebrows at me and shakes her head. That's not how I usually spend summer vacation. He said something like, all I need is a sheet of paper and something to write with, and I can turn the world upside down. So you're planning on busting us all out of here with your cruel, cutting words? What is brewing in your brain? Have you ever heard of the white rose? She doesn't answer me. She's looking at Sohail as he approaches the garden. A smile spreads across her face. Hey, he says as he draws closer. Hey, Aisha replies. Hey, he says again. Then there's silence. Aisha looks at her shoes and kicks at the dirt a bit. Sohail stuffs his hands into his jeans pockets and shifts his weight from one foot to the other. Was I also supposed to say hey? Is that the reason for the awkward silence? I ask. Aisha turns to me and widens her eyes in a way that shows she's embarrassed, and also telling me to shut up. I ignore her and move to another rock so Sohail can take a seat on the boulder next to her. What were you saying about the white rose? Aisha asks me. The white rose? Sohail jumps in. The brother and sister from World War II who wrote all those pamphlets urging other German college students to resist the Nazis? Yeah, I respond. I don't remember every detail of their story, but I know they used their words to try to resist the Nazis. I'm familiar with their story, Sohail responds, and it doesn't have a happy ending. They were a group of students, and two of the leaders were Hans and Sophie Scholl. They handed out leaflets denouncing Hitler, totally risking their lives. They even advocated sabotaging the war efforts. They sound pretty badass, Aisha says. Sohail continues. Totally brave. But then a janitor at their university turned them in, and they were both executed. Some of the others were too. By guillotine. Aisha raises a hand to her mouth. That's horrible, she whispers. Why were you talking about them anyway? Sohail asks. Are you two figuring you're going to agitate? Resist? As Sohail talks, I feel bile rising in my throat. But I also begin to remember more of the White Rose story from history class. They were killed because they refused to lie down and do nothing. They didn't stay silent. During the trial, I think Sophie said, somebody, after all, had to make a start. Didn't she? I think I remember seeing that in my textbook. And she was right. Somebody has to make a start, and it might as well be us. Aisha gulps. But do you want to do leaflets in here? No. I want to write stories that will rile people up on the outside, and I'm going to ask David to get them out there. I know he's afraid, but at some point we have to stop talking and start reminding people of who we are. Americans. Human beings.
So say we all.
Aisha puts her hand on my forearm.
But I'd like to avoid the capture and guillotine part.
They don't use the guillotine anymore,
Sohail says. Aisha elbows him.
Not helping. I'm serious.
You're right. I'm sorry,
he responds.
Total crap thing to say or be flip about.
Guys, look. This whole situation is bullshit. But I know we have to be careful. We can't play around with some half-assed romantic idea that we'll be the next resistance. We have to think about it, be smart, know who we can trust. But it's like Sophie said, somebody has to make a start, and it might as well be us. When I say this, I can hear the resolve in my voice, but inside I'm shaking. The confidence is a mask, like some of the lies we tell to make it through the day. Fake it till you make it is one of the most American attitudes I can think of.
Okay, so say, like, you write these stories. How are you going to get them to David? Your boyfriend, right? He's on the outside?
Sohail asks. David's name has come up before, but Sohail doesn't know the whole story about how Jake is helping me. When I share it with him, his mouth drops open, and for once he's too stunned to speak. So I'm going to see if maybe I can convince Jake to help me see David again.
Wait. I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on the part about David getting snuck in by a guard. An exclusion guard. One that you're on a first-name basis with.
Sohail narrows his eyes at me. He's not just a guard. I mean, he is, but there's more to it. To him.
Then he should stand up and say something, shouldn't he? Fight back?
Sohail says.
Maybe he wants to do something but doesn't know where to begin.
Or maybe he is helping us in some way, and we don't know how yet. I trust Layla's gut on this, and it's not like she's telling him all our plans. Aisha comes to my defense, but I hear her voice falter a little. She wants to believe in me, and I want to be worthy of her trust.
There is no plan,
Sohail says. He's terse, and I can see Aisha tense up, but she doesn't back down. That's the point of this conversation, to make a plan. And anyway, Layla said she was going to write, like, an article and get it to David. That's the seed. Aisha squares her shoulders to Sohail. No one is forcing you to be here. But if you're going to be, at least be helpful. Sohail takes a breath and nods.
I'm here. I'm in. I'm with you. Of course I am.
His voice softens as he speaks.
I'm playing devil's advocate is all. I don't want you to get hurt. Or anyone else either.
Same, Aisha whispers back. I've only known Aisha a few weeks, but from the moment we met, I could trust her. It was friendship at first sight. In a lot of ways, it was a new feeling for me. That sense of trust, of loyalty. There was David, of course. He is that and more. And I have friends on the tennis team and in student government. But no one tight. Not recently, anyway. I'm so grateful I have Aisha. I smile at her and say, I'm freaked too. But we won't be stupid. We'll plan. We'll hide in plain sight. We'll protect one another. We'll try our best. Sohail nods. Aisha steps over to me and gives me a hug and squeezes my hand.
Okay,
Sohail says.
You are going to figure out a way to get a message to David.
A way that can maybe fire people up on the outside. There are already protesters here and media. I want to light a match. Be a spark, I say. Sohail starts pacing around the boulders.
But we also have to find a way to resist inside.
While he's walking, Aisha opens a small plastic bag and hands each of us a sandwich. She smiles. I was a Girl Scout. I'm always prepared for my inevitable bouts of hunger. Sohail and I thank her and take the PB&J she hands us. I notice that Sohail's fingers linger on Aisha's when he reaches for his sandwich. Sohail looks at his food.
Fast. We get people to fast. Like everyone skips dinner, refuses to eat.
You have noticed that I get totally hangry, right? Aisha says. But maybe a protest fast. Missing the dinner slop at the mess one day isn't the worst idea ever. Sohail laughs.
It's Gandhi-esque. It's in your DNA.
He points to the two of us. Aisha rolls her eyes. Yes, you're right. All the Desis in America have regular meetings about being more Gandhi-like, and we spin our own cotton, too. And all the Arabs here know how to ride camels, right? Aisha playfully punches him in the arm, but it was probably a bit harder than Sohail expected, and he winces a little.
Okay, I hear you. Checking my assumptions.
Aisha tilts her head. One upside, Muslims are used to fasting. Who knew Ramadan was preparing us for this? I interject. It's only one meal. Besides, 3 people won't get much attention. How do we get other people to join in? Sohail proposes the threads of a plan.
We start with a core group. I'd like to bring Nadia and Nadim, the twins on my block, in on it, and some others. Next Friday, the director is letting us choose seats at dinner to show us his supposed generosity, right? Let's use it. We need a group of us, enough to get attention.
But how do we know who we can trust? We need to recruit people. Aisha looks right at Sohail, who smiles back at her.
He responds, Recruiting is my thing. I recruited like 6 ballers for the soccer team at school. I'll get people. But we can't all meet here. 3 people eating sandwiches doesn't look suspicious, but more than 5, and the drones will start to sniff out a conspiracy.
Aisha smiles. I know! Last week, when I was at the Hub Library, I suggested a teen vegetable garden to the librarian, and she was into it. She even requisitioned tools and seeds and stuff. So we plant. Get some tools. Do some work. Rebel. Yes, I think. Sow the seeds. Perfect. Chapter 16. Aisha and I are still buzzing from our conversation with Sohail earlier today. As we walk down the midway toward the mess, one of the director's shiny red drones flies above us, slows down, and follows. We stop talking altogether, too nervous to speak. Then Aisha mentions the dinner from the night before and goes on to list all the foods she misses from the outside. I turn my chin up to gaze directly at the drone's camera. I wonder if it's sending a live feed into the director's office. Creepy. Unsettling. I don't like being watched. I refuse to get used to it. We keep walking and talking, building our missed food wish list. Flaming hot Cheetos. Chocolate cake with real buttercream frosting. In-N-Out animal-style burgers. Badmash fried chicken. Biryani, keema paratha, samosas, food truck tacos, salmon sushi. And now I'm starving. But the drone moves on, heading toward the back of the camp, which is weird because everyone else is heading forward toward the mess. It's dinner. It's required. The only reason... We hear yelling and the sound of boots on the ground, and then a dozen guards run past us, I pull Aisha toward the mess. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the director and his private security detail following behind the guards. This can't be good. I'm going to go see what's happening. I whisper to Aisha. Are you cracked? We're supposed to be in the mess. I'll only be a few minutes. Besides, something is going on, and I'm sure everyone is going to be distracted. Aisha sighs. Fine. I'm going with you. If only to tell you to hurry up and get back to the mess, where the major risk is indigestion, as opposed to getting shot out here. I smile a little. Then, when the guard at the mess door steps toward the midway to see what's happening, I grab Aisha's hand and dart behind one of the admin trailers. We wait, then dash behind some Mercury homes. We move closer to the direction of the guards and the drones, but keep some distance between us and the midway so we can't be seen. Then we hear screams. I stop short. I can't breathe. Goosebumps spring up all over my body. I look at Aisha. All the blood has left her face. We peek out from behind the Mercury home. A woman is being dragged down the midway by the director's small special force, his personal security guards, as the director follows calmly, walking with his hands clasped behind his back like he's on a stroll, as if his hands don't have blood on them. It's Noor. Oh God, no. During our first few days here, Noor caught me smiling at her American flag hijab while we were both doing laundry, and she introduced herself. Block 6, she said, rolling her eyes. Arab American. She told me authority suits grabbed her from her dorm room for seditious acts. When I asked her if she had done what they claimed, she looked at me with a mysterious smile and said, "Rebellion is as American as apple pie. And so is fascism." Now she's being hauled down the midway, pulled by each arm, bleeding from her mouth and her forehead. She's writhing and trying to kick and twist herself out of the grasp of the director's private security guards. They ignore her screams, like she's a ghost they can't see or hear. I can't turn away. I step forward. Aisha pulls me back behind the Mercury home, but it doesn't matter, because no one is in the mess anymore. Everyone is standing around, watching. Out of the corner of my eye, I see 2 black women run toward Noor. They're young, maybe in their 20s, block 7 or 8. No, stop! They'll take you too, I want to scream. But the words catch in my throat. Neither of the women has a weapon. The one I've met before, Asma, has close-cropped hair and wears a bright yellow tee with "bad brains" splashed across the front in red letters. She lunges for one of the men taking Noor away. An exclusion guard immediately steps up, grabs her by the shirt, and elbows her in the face, like she's inconsequential to him. She falls to the ground, cradling her head in both hands, groaning. 2 guards yank her up. Then the action feels like it slows down. There's screaming and dirt getting kicked up and clouds of fine dust filling the air. I hear Aisha say, "Oh no, it's Bilqis." In the frenzy, Bilqis, who's wearing a pale blue hijab, sucker punches one of the guards. Right in the face. Blood spurts out of the guard's nose and mouth. A beatific smile crosses her face. But before she can take another step, 2 guards are on her. One punches her in the gut, and when she's doubled over, another guard kicks her to the ground and handcuffs her. When they pull her up, the guard she punched stomps up to her and rips off her hijab. Bilqis spits in his face, and he slaps her hard, so hard that her scream could crack the earth. Blood is everywhere, smeared across their faces and clothes. I keel over, sure I'm going to be sick. Aisha rushes to me. There is so much screaming and deep, almost animal-like sounds from the women. People in the crowd yell and curse and cry. Guards hold them back as Noor and Asma and Bilqis are taken away. But we don't disperse. Someone from the back of the gathering throws a rock. It hits one of the director's security team in the arm. There are cheers. But when I glance at the director, I know this is going to cost us. His splotchy red face looks like it's going to explode. He marches over to one of his security guards, takes his handgun, raises it in the air, and shoots. The shot rings out and reverberates through the mountains. He does it again. The crowd quiets. Then there are only the echoes of the women's screams. The director waits, the gun still raised. He waits longer. It's unbearable, hearing the last distant sounds from the women as they're taken who knows where. My God, they are so brave. My heart is in my throat. This is what the director wants. He wants us to hear the screams. He wants us to know that it could be us screaming. And then there is absolute silence.